Hey everybody, and welcome to the next map that I'm going to play, which is Tatooine Drylands, and is a map made by Soupy and was recommended to me in the comments by our Wave. So don't forget to always leave a recommendation or request on a map or mod you want me to review on that channel. There's a lot of good stuff out there, so let's begin. So, first impressions that I have to say already is great use of lighting. There's of course a lot of Tatooine maps out there, and with the older technology and the engine that Battlefront 2 runs on, often it can see very dull and very bland, and that is not the case here with the colors, but also again the lighting is very, very nice. You can immediately see though that the vehicles and the clones have a little bit of pathfinding issues with so many objects here. Now, of course, in previous maps I have said that it's important for people to, or map makers, to have at least enough objects littered around so that it will feel like a believable place, that it will feel alive. I have to say that that is definitely the case here. Very atmospheric, very, very cool. Also, if you can, for example, look at the map layout, pretty simple in terms of there are 4 spawn points. There's also one here on the left, but for some reason that one does not work. We have the sandcrawler here, very, very cool. But look, there's a spawn point here, and if you get close to it, nothing will happen, and you can actually walk through here. So that is a little bit weird. The creator probably knows about that itself, but it is something that hopefully, if it will get updates someday, might get fixed. I really like this. This really reminds me of one of the Tatooine maps from Battlefront 1. It is pretty small in scale, but does what it has to very well. I don't know if the droids have any vehicles. This might actually even be a map where it is better to just have infantry. See, it's a fine line, right? Where, again, there have been maps where they have areas that are too wide, and you know you're gonna go like, well, okay, maybe put in a bit more objects, you know, to make it feel more alive. But then here you can say, well, then maybe they are now too cluttered, in the sense that the vehicles don't know how to deal with them, because that guy is not going anywhere. One nifty detail here is that you have these rock formations over here where snipers can have a really good overwatch position. Another thing that I think is very important to note is that each spawn point, even the one that doesn't work, has actually been put in an area that is quite unique. I have already reviewed a particular map. I don't think it is uploaded yet. But what became very clear to me there, and you will see this in other maps too, is that whenever map makers who know what they're doing, whenever they make a spawn point somewhere, it is very important to not just randomly put it there, but maybe give it a theme. Maybe, you know, put some particular objects around it, or props around it, to make it more clear to what it is. So for example, this spawn point here is obviously the Tusken camp. That spawn point there that doesn't work is the sandcrawler. It is thematic, and you know, has been done since the days of Battlefield 1942, where for example on the map Wake Island you had, for example, a spawn point at the airfield. Then you had a spawn point at the bunker, or you had a spawn point at the tank factory. And though it might seem like very logical and very ABC what I'm telling now, you will get maps that will have spawn points in the most random locations without sometimes any cover around it.
Let's get on with this.
I think it's important to have at least some stuff. You can, another great example, and I haven't reviewed this on the Max channel yet, or in the Battlefront Max channel yet. I have done it in the Kanoa channel, and it's a very famous map. It's the Coruscant Modern Warfare map, where you have Coruscant, but you have all these different locations. Like you have the office area, you have a spawn point there, you have like the bar area, I think you have like a spawn point there. So all these like unique locations. It's also good because of course you're fighting, the teams are fighting for control over these capture points. And so as a map maker, you of course want to show off your map and your creation. So it's a good way to really create focus on what you created. We of course did, not too long ago, we did, oh God, I think it's called Bakura Rogue Assault. This very cool looking island map, and the creator had only spawn points on the left side of the map, and the right side was not utilized at all. This map, on the other hand, is utilized very well. I even saw actually in the distance a few more buildings, like Tatooine buildings. I'm actually not going to capture this one yet. Just, I don't want this mission to end yet. We're actually fighting for the outpost on the left side. You can definitely see though that despite the vehicles getting stuck, it is very well playable with AI in terms of infantry. A lot is happening in terms of like people capturing command posts, the tide of battle turning. Where were those buildings? Here we go.
Republic is in control of a command post. Enemy reinforcements are decreasing.
So we got some buildings here. Not really function as anything. I was even thinking like maybe this could also, if you had a few more buildings here, you could have another spawn point here. I mean, it would be pretty close to here, but then again, so is this. This is also an issue.
Friendly fire!
I know it's friendly fire, but
Command post has been lost, but not the battle.
you should not get stuck there. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. This guy isn't even stuck and he's not moving.
Battle droid, knock him
Oh
down!
no, he is stuck. Oh, what is happening?
Post is under Republic control. Hostile reinforcements are being depleted. Hold on, I need to fix that vehicle.
It reminds me also a little bit like all the scrap metal of Jakku.
Watch those wrist rockets.
Battle for
Lost
Jakku.
control of a command post.
And those arched rock formations actually remind me of like the areas from the pod racing
Is now
scene.
under hostile control.
Oh dear. So obviously also the AI does not actually make use of the arched rock formations to use as a sniper position. So let's say you would play this with other people, with actual players, the dynamic of the battle will actually drastically change because you will, of course, get people who will are going on top of that.
The force is strong with me.
Take out that destroyer droid.
Regarding the vehicles though, I think it also just might be bad AI. I mean, if you look how broad these like the ways are between these rocks, there should be no problem for these walkers to get through. Like there's more than enough room. So I don't know. It's crappy AI.
My master wants you dead. You don't need me here anymore. I'm off to more important battles.
Goodbye, Darth Maul. Let's see what we
Enemy has
got.
taken a command post. They've sent in the supers.
I am happy though that the AI doesn't really recognize the spawn point on the left. That would be a shame if they would fight for that, but then not capture it. I say that though, Darth Maul just went over there. That droideka missed every shot. I wonder if there's like a map out there that has the insides of a sandcrawler. That'd be quite original. Ow. Oh, thank God he has a normal weapon. See, I almost always avoid the Jet Trooper because of its sucky weapon in the vanilla units. But you can see that definitely custom units take care of this problem.
The enemy has taken a command post. Our second wave of troops is being depleted.
So in terms, like, if there were improvements on the map, I don't necessarily think that, like, getting rid of a few of these objectives will necessarily make it to where they won't get stuck.
Our second
I
wave
mean,
of troops
look at
is
this.
being
He can
depleted.
go anywhere, yet he's still just walking in place there. I mean, this is a big mystery to me. I will say, though, that that spawn point there, you know, if that can be fixed, that would be great.
Another command post for the Republic.
It just makes it a bit more dynamic, and also has that thing that we've seen in a lot of maps, and that I talked about too also many times, is that, you know, gameplay mechanic that a lot of multiplayer maps have, where both teams have, for example, 2 spawn points, so it's symmetrical, but then there's one spawn point in the middle that whatever team owns that spawn point has an advantage, whether either it's a specific vehicle being spawned in there, or, with this game mode, that since the team that owns that spawn point has 3, and the other 2, the reinforcements of the enemy team
Post has been
will start
lost,
to
but
deplete.
not the battle.
You can also see that it is quite balanced.
Hostiles have gained a command post.
We're a little bit ahead, but
Reinforcements
not by
are being
much.
depleted. Watch those wrist rockets. Bullseye.
I am actually glad that actually many of the maps that I've done on the channel until now have been quite balanced. I definitely remember that there are some maps out there that are not balanced at all. Why not? Let's get into this thing. Let's show the AI how it's done. They can even walk backwards. In terms of objectives objects,
Another command post for the Republic.
this is also a great showcase of how
Keep it up.
using the same object can be done, yet it doesn't feel like tiresome. So that shuttle, that piece of like shuttle or antenna thing that you see over there next to the building, next to the sandcrawler, this thing right here, is also placed over there and over there. So we have the 3, and might even be more. Yet it doesn't feel monotonous at all. It's the same with the skeleton. The skeleton is here, the skeleton is there. Now it doesn't matter that it's the same, not at all. As long as you of course have some distance between it and some like other objects in between. Like let's say this skeleton was right next to that one, then it would be a little weird. But it's better. And it's also of course the the type of object. Like those huts are the same, but that makes sense because it's a camp. So, gotta think about that when you create a map. Oh, there comes Anakin. Looks like there's some stuff over there. Let's go check it out. Oh dear. Well, what is happening here? Oh, they are trying to capture it, aren't they? Well. Okay, they're all heading now towards the southern spot. Ooh, that was close. We're about to end it, guys, though. So again, if you want to check this out, you can find the link in the description down below. I think it's a very cool map. There is room for improvement, but I definitely like the atmosphere. I like the look of it. It plays nice, with of course some tweaks with the vehicles and the AI. But yeah, no, this gets a thumbs up. Check it out in the description down below, and don't forget to let me know any recommendations or requests, and I'll see you guys next time.